Right, so this is our review of Wonder Woman 1984, which eventually reached these shores in sunny UK after a good year of delay. I think it was this come out last summer as a blockbuster. So
yeah.
So it's a long year. Yeah, summer. Remember those days when we were thinking about going outside for a bit before we were thrown back in stores? Such is life. So this is the sequel to 2017, the original Wonder Woman. That's my assumption. Which did really well. Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, just released an absolutely solid superhero film, which no one really expected to succeed. So there was a lot of pressure on this, with Patty Jenkins taking the full control over this screenwriting and directing duties. To release this 1984-based action film. So, because Elenia is the only woman on this show, we're going to throw it over to her for her opinion. So, Elenia, what did you think? The thumbs down was a sign, but
it angered me so much because the first one was so great, and it was like it had proper power moments in it, had emotional vulnerability, but it also had like a build up, and it had a twist as recognizable as it was. It still had layers to it, and there was development and there was loss. And then this one, it was just the same loss again, and it was just pandering, and it was like overly
50 years later.
Yeah. I was overly optimistic as well. So just a quick overview of the IMDb plot. It says Diana must contend with a work colleague and a businessman whose desire for extreme wealth sends the world down a path of destruction after an ancient artifact that grants wishes goes missing. So it's that whole if you wish for something, we'll grant it, but we'll also take something away from you. There's consequences to wanting things, like looking for external motivation and stuff like that, which I get.
That's how wishes apparently work.
Yeah, exactly. You always lose something, but everything, it was so relentless in how much it was like, you shouldn't wish for things, shouldn't wish to not be yourself, and you can't wish the bad things away in life. You have to deal with it, and you have to be true to yourself, and blah freaking blah. Like, if I just and the whole, we're going to get into it properly, because this was the thing that you pointed out to me before I'd even watched it, was the whole I'm going to wish to be like Diana, and now all of a sudden I've lost my glasses, and I can walk in heels now, and now I'm a sexy woman. And it's like, yeah.
Now everyone in the office wants to talk to me.
all of the douchebags in the office will talk to me now. And I can beat up men in the street, and that's another point. Like, why did we have to go from women empowerment to just shitting all over men, and like all men are creeps and weirdos, and that really pissed off a lot of people.
I think it was similar to how Charlie's Angels and Elizabeth Banks did it last year or the year before that. It's just men bad. Like, you can't just solely use that as a premise of a film.
No, exactly. That's not.
Then complain when you isolate, your biggest demographic, so they're not watching it. So.
And that's not what feminism is or has ever been about in the first place anyway. It's all about equality and bringing all people up to the same level and giving everyone a fair start. It's not about shitting on another gender. Like, it's not that shouldn't come into it whatsoever. And that just gives, it pushes down the film even further, because then people use it as an excuse and be like, it's just feminist bullshit kind of thing. So that really annoyed me. And the treatment of Cheetah really annoyed me, because I'm not like a huge DC person anyway, but I went and researched Cheetah, and that character is amazing. There's been so many different iterations of the character, from having no powers at all to receiving her powers from a plant god. So again, you're using the god ethos and the mythical side of Wonder Woman.
Which is easy to bring into a film about gods
and everything. Yeah, like you could have done that again. And then there's the new one, the 2016 Cheetah, where like Diana and Cheetah, like Barbara, are really, really good friends. And then Barbara goes off on like an expedition as an archaeologist, has a run-in with this plant god, and then blames Diana, and that's why they get into this whole battle. And I was like, that story is amazing. It's like the battle between like friendship, but also, you know, anger and revenge, and trying to work past that and battling each other. And that would have been so much better than like, she's prettier than me.
I see that point, but how about counter with, can she walk in heels still and look good? That's what her character motivation seemed to be, was just how much she looked like.
And how like,
I think what the first film did really well is they didn't really latch onto the fact she was I think what the first one did well is it didn't really focus on the fact she was a woman too much.
Yeah.
Like in the whole World War scenario, like the whole main thing was she was a soldier, she was like just kicking ass.
Yeah.
And her being a woman wasn't really mentioned much. No one was standing up, oh look, it's a woman. I mean, there's a few jokes, but most of it was like kind of based upon her and how powerful she was, rather than, you know, that she's a lady on the battlefield. So
yeah, exactly.
Whereas it seems like this one kind of just went backwards. It just undid all the work from the first film.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and also we got to mention the secondary villain. So there's 2 villains, so it becomes a bit Spider-Man 3-ish when they're throwing in multiple villains. And I think Pedro Pascal's character, they just didn't really know where they were going with it. It's like it seems like the ending when, you know, there's two villains trying to duke it out on who is the primary antagonist. You kind of know there's something gone wrong here. So it's like,
and I got really confused because I was looking at Pedro Pascal and I was like, why does he look so much like Nathan Fillion? And I was so confused, and I told my friend about it, and he was like, I said the exact same thing. I was like, okay, good. I'm not going crazy. Like, that was weird the way he dressed up. But also we have the return of Chris Pine.
It's because he removed the tash.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on bringing back Chris Pine?
To be honest, I didn't mind bringing him back. I'm like, it's a comic book film. You can do whatever the hell you want. So you can bring back. No one really dies at a comic book film. But I think the whole way they did it is very, very
the kind of
very suspect.
Body snatcher,
to say the least.
The body snatcher. Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. What line was a bit weird?
I mean, considering the fact the plot is, you know, it's based on wishes, there was no reason for them to not just wish him back.
Yeah, just materialize.
Yeah, there was no reason for the way they did it. So
yeah, I mean,
and I think they kind of replay the same pro. So instead of, you know, Diane being fish out of water, it was now Steve being fish out of water. Do we need to see this twice? We've already done this.
Yeah, that was the other thing. It's like we've seen the whole fish out of water thing. It's kind of like you can't do it again.
Yeah, and I think I want to say some positives. I think it is the only scenes when Wonder Woman was doing Wonder Woman stuff. That's what the film's great at, to show her full power. And what the film fails upon is she's barely in it, in costume, doing heroic stuff. It's like such a slog. Like when it gets to the good stuff, it's pretty good, but it's the journey in between.
I agree with that. I think the parts where she's fighting and she's being herself, she's using the lasso, she's swinging around and everything's great. And then like the first scene where she's a child on Themyscira and doing that game, it's a great scene. Don't know why it's in there though.
It's massive.
It's like, oh, we need to remind people where she came from, because we didn't go into that at all in the first movie. Oh no, wait.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
I believe the rumors were that Warner Brother wanted to open the film in the scene where she's in the mall, stopping that robbery. But Patty wanted this Olympic Games thing.
That would have been so much better.
But it seemed weird. I mean,
it was out of place.
Exactly, and I think we've kind of seen it enough. We've seen enough of Diana's backstory anyway in first films. There's no need to really waste a good 10-15 minutes in a film. That's a big chunk of that.
You spent like the first act on Themyscira, so why do you need to go back there again on this one? And then Yeah, I think that scene would have been better as the opening. But then the other scene that I really didn't relate to, or just I didn't really enjoy, was the whole like showing Steve the 80s, and it's like, remember the 80s?
Member berries.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like
I think it's not about the 80s. It really didn't add anything to the plot. There was nothing related to the 80s that would have made that film not work in any other decade. So I thought this thing, it just seemed like a cheap cash grab for the whole 80s nostalgia hit and Stranger Things. I'm like, I think it could have worked in the 90s, could have worked in the 70s, could have worked in any decade, could have worked in 2020.
It's very on trend right now, like with you know, with Ragnarok and Stranger Things and everything, like going towards that kind of like space agey 80s, very trippy musicality, and the visuals and everything is great. It's fun, but it's like, okay, we get it, it's trend now. You don't have to do it till the cows come home.
What I do think is a bit sloppy is that it kind of retroactively makes Wonder Woman look bad in like the Justice League, like what her story was. She's in hiding, but started doing nothing. But now you see this happening, and she shows powers in this film, which apparently she just doesn't have or forgot about.
Yeah, she just forgets about. Like, you know, over the next 30 years, she's just like, didn't I make a plane invisible? Nah, that sounds stupid.
And it's like, it just seems sloppy. Like Marvel don't make mistakes like this. They don't just retroactively, you know, just forget about a character. They try their best to avoid these kind of things. But here it's like these powers, she's so broken and overpowered in here. But then in the Justice League, she's just punches fast and kicks hard. And that's
I think where DC's kind of lacking is they don't have that kind of like overarching oversight from a person.
Someone.
People don't have someone looking at the overarching story, so they like just everything's individual and it doesn't quite mesh together. It's just like, oh, we want to do this story, and they're like, go ahead, do it.
So coming up to almost 15 minutes, so is there anything nice you want to say about this?
Not really. Like it was just and then the whole, like, spoiler alerts, everyone takes back their wishes, which is a lie. That wouldn't happen. Like,
and apparently all wishes are bad wishes. No one made a heartfelt wish like, could you make my cancer go away? Could you save my parents from whatever? Nope, you gotta take that back because Wonder Woman said so.
And her like magic satellite lasso just like transmits her message throughout the globe to everyone's TVs and stuff. Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's got universal translator because apparently people in like China and
exactly. You've got the like
Kenya,
the guy building a wall in Egypt. Yeah, you've got like the guy who's like, everyone's wishing for nukes because nukes are great, and then goes, no, we don't want nukes, and like,
and not a single person wished for the world to just end. Some pure emo
like that.
It would be one person, right? It would just be like,
no one wished for a snap.
I wish a comet would come. There was a lot of. It was very sloppy.
Yeah,
so they got to do. Look.
Yeah, I think it's so annoying when you have such good source material to just ignore that and just like for Patty Jenkins and the other writers to come in and go, nah. just gonna make some shit up and just build that. And like I just can't get over the fact the central concept of the villain was I want to look good in heels. Was really like, I just can't get over that. Because all of us women would rather look good in heels than be successful in our field.
And she isn't even that run down in the film. She still looks pretty okay. Just his hair's a bit messy. Her hair's a bit messy. She's got glasses.
Just like this, and then she's like,
and when she, it's just it's not good. So overall, let's just wrap it up. I got a feeling if out of 10, it's not going to be very high, is it?
No. I mean, I'll give it a 3.
3.
Yeah, just because, like some of the visuals are cool. I am going to say one thing, actually. The bit where they're in the fighter jet, which apparently he can fly, even though he's been dead for 70 years.
You're telling me a modern day fighter jet isn't the same as a World War II, whatever they flew in World War II, Spitfire, I don't know. Or the World War One.
World War One, yeah. Just no. And they're going through the fireworks like at a really low altitude, so they could have been hit by fire. But also they're going like a car speed. Fighter jets are a little bit faster. So they're just like gliding through the fireworks.
Don't fighter jets have a cruise mode so you can take in the scenery, because that's what you do.
Only if you're in like a Harrier jump jet that hovers, that's about it.
Hovers.
But yeah, so mine's a 3, and
yeah, I'd probably give it a 4. I think the action, the visuals, like you said, stand out, but this isn't enough of that, and the whole plot line just really puts it back, and it's disappointing because I love the first film. That's like an 8 or a 9 for me.
Yeah,
definitely. To see what would have been like a 9 or a 10 if that final third was a bit more cleaner. Yeah, then they release this. I can kind of see why they kind of edge towards putting on demand, just dump it online and just.
It has flopped a bit in terms of box like.
But I think it's better to flop online than it is to flop in the box office in the cinemas.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought.
Wow, so this has been a massive 20-minute rant. So this was we'll do a rant, I suppose, after. Yeah. It's to be exciting. And no one can accuse us, even a woman gave it a 3 out of 10, so no one can say because I'm a guy, I didn't understand the film. I've got a vendetta against jits. Alright, brilliant. So we'll call that a wrap. Thanks everyone. Bye.